Hello fellow explorers, road trip lovers, adventurers and book lovers. Welcome back to my channel. Those who are new here, you can call me Tally, and this channel is all about exploring new destinations, new opportunities, new books, and basically any way that can help us become the best version of ourselves. A brief background about me: I am a Ugandan, born and raised. I came to Kenya about 4 years ago and I have been based in Nairobi ever since. Unfortunately though, the only place I have traveled to outside Nairobi is the city of Mombasa. Unfortunately, that is the case for so many Kenyans as well as so many tourists in Kenya. So this year I decided to be a bit more intentional about seeing what lies outside Nairobi and not necessarily in the popular destination that everyone usually frequents. We chose Nanyuki because my friends and I are looking and exploring business opportunities outside Nairobi and trying to research and find out if the cost of making a little extra money or starting a business will be more affordable outside Nairobi compared to Nairobi. So as we go through this road trip, you will realize there's such a big difference in vegetation and landscape. If you would like to see for yourself what I'm talking about, check out our road trip videos to Western Uganda and you will see what a difference there is in the general landscape. From my research, I found out that Kenya generally has 3 types of climate: the temperate subtropical climate, which is experienced in the West and Southwest Highlands, including Nairobi. The second type of climate that is experienced in Kenya is called the hot and humid climate. This is usually experienced along the coastal region of Kenya. And then lastly, the hot and dry climate is experienced in the northeastern region of Kenya. Comparatively, Uganda experiences one type of climate throughout the country, except for its northern region, which is relatively dry. The type of climate experienced in most of Uganda is the warm tropical climate. This type of climate gives Uganda an average daytime temperature of about 280 degrees Celsius and rainfall throughout the year. The highest rainfalls are April and May, and the lowest are in July. There are regions in Kenya that have comparable climatic conditions with some areas in Uganda. For example, the climatic conditions around Jinja, Port Bell and Entebbe can be compared to the climatic conditions in Kisumu and Homa Bay. This is interesting, I know, right? And it is due to the fact that these areas are near a large water body that is known as Lake Victoria. Basically, Lake Victoria influences the climate of the regions surrounding it, and a good example is the conventional rainfall experienced in these regions. Other regions with similar climatic conditions are the Mau Ranges, which are relatively similar to the majority of Uganda. The Mount Kenya climate can also be compared to the climate around Moroto and generally the eastern part of Uganda, save for the high altitude in the region. Another factor that contributes to some of the similarities in the climatic conditions between Kenya and Uganda is the equator. Both countries lie along the equator, therefore we can say that both countries experience equatorial climatic conditions. These similarities are better reflected with the similar crops that are grown in both Uganda and Kenya, which include tea, coffee, cotton, as well as food crops like corn, sweet potatoes, cassava, and groundnuts. These crops are climate dependent, therefore indicating that both Uganda and Kenya share some climatic conditions. As you can see, we are finally in Nanyuki. The trip has roughly taken us 4 hours because we were driving slowly, just taking in the scenes and landscape around us. It is getting quite late, so we are going to call it a night, and then first thing in the morning I will be able to show you a little bit around NANYUKI town and the business opportunities we are going to explore. See you tomorrow morning. Good morning to you. We had quite the good night's rest. It was real cold at night, but nothing one cannot get used to, especially if you've lived in Nairobi for a while. What I can tell you, the air here is so fresh. You literally feel such a huge difference from the lack of so much pollution in this side of the country. So we're now just driving around the town. We've already had our breakfast. We want to look around, ask around, and see if there are any business opportunities one can explore. What you're seeing is what we are seeing, and NANYUKI town is quite busy. Actually, if you were just dropped here out of nowhere, it would be hard to discern the difference between NANYUKI and some parts of Nairobi. Fun fact: NANYUKI is mostly occupied by a tribe known as Kikuyu. Interestingly, as a Ugandan, I initially thought that all Kikuyus come from a place called Kikuyu, but I was corrected, and apparently Kikuyus come from several parts of the country, and NANYUKI is part of them. That is not surprising, because seeing as how developed the place is, one of the stereotypes about the Kikuyu tribe is that they are very developmental. If you want to see your money multiply fast, give it to a Kikuyu. So the stereotype goes. There are some other interesting stereotypes I've heard about the tribe, but let's just keep those for another video. Our first destination to explore is a building called Pickless. We will check out the space available and how much it would be to rent space for a shop or a business. Check it out. So we spoke with some people from management and they indicated that the building is near full completion. Most of the rooms are still available for rent, and I love the fact that it is right next to the main road, making it easily accessible for potential future clients depending on the type of business one would set up. Basically, the building has a ground floor, first floor, and second floor. The elevator is still under construction, so for those of you worried about climbing stairs, that will not be an issue. Obviously, some of the spaces are larger than others, so depending on the type of business you want to set up, you can always estimate what type of space you can afford and what type of space would be adequate for your business needs. For example, we are going to take a look at one of the rooms on the second floor, and you can see that this room is quite spacious. So one of the ideas one can have is maybe a pharmacy or a small supermarket or even a bakery. Who knows? You guys are the business people. We are now done with the first place, so let us check out the next place. NANYUKI is a good option for those of you looking to invest in land. These options on your screen are some of the places you can get land and even pay in installments. You can screenshot and contact the first one on Instagram, and the second one has its phone number right below. In 25 and 30 and have already built a house or own a piece of land? Man, tell us how you do it in the comments below, because life is challenging. How are you guys managing to make investments that profitable? Personally, this year I want to be intentional about saving up to own assets that appreciate in that is not sustainable. Latest cars, latest clothes, flashy houses. But if you are to look at their portfolios, you will find that most or some of them do not own any assets to their name. Not only in Nairobi but in most cities, as young people, we are very consumed with having the latest gadgets and portraying to our friends how we are doing much better than them. Personally, I realize that the lifestyle I am living is not sustainable in the long run, and I am guilty. But what matters is you realizing where you're going wrong and seeking to be better and change. So this year I will be more intentional about my financial decisions, and I hope assets, you will find that a typical 25 to 30-year-old young person would put aside the equivalent of $300 and get a small piece of land somewhere up country. That is not quite a popular culture in Kenya. Most young people would prefer to start a business than own an asset. Of course, it also goes to show that owning an asset in Kenya is not as affordable as owning an asset in Uganda. So we have finally reached our last destination to explore for business opportunities. The place is at Delta Petrol Station, right next to the main road. It is surrounded by a pharmacy, as you can see, a supermarket right below, and the space we're exploring is right at the topmost floor. The fact that it is busy already is a great sign, because anything you put on the top of the building will have good traffic. We are first exploring the surrounding of the area of the building before we go inside. Right now we are going to explore the back garden, which comes along with the space if you rent it, and we are thinking that the back garden would be a great space for garden parties, team retreats, workshops, barbecues, or any other creative ideas one could have. I specifically love the garden space because the ideas of what could go here are so many. So that was it, my dear viewers, for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have reached till the end, big hugs to you. This is the end of the video, but it's not the end of the trip. If you are interested in seeing our return journey back, do stay tuned for the next video, because we will be using a different route from the one we used while coming. Otherwise, thank you so very much for your support. I highly appreciate it, and I hope you continue to stay safe and blessed. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, because it really supports and encourages me to do more content like this. Cheers.